Well, hey there, fellers. Sentient Potato here, and oh boy, have I got some gripes. Today, we are going to be reviewing the Chromecast TV, which, as we're talking, is actually plugged into this TV right here. And like I said, I've got some gripes. This thing has got a lot of issues, and at its price point, I got it, this was paired with a Funko Pop, so it was about $29. So, assuming the Funko Pop was, the lion's share, then you know what? It's worth it. But at $29, honestly, before we even get into the review, just buy a Roku. This is not worth it, unless you are buying this for an elderly person, or for a kid. But even then, buy a Roku. The little Funko Pop ain't worth it, buddy. So, time to get into the review. The first thing I noticed is that it is very snappy, and that is true. The OS is very snappy and very responsive. And I actually had no issues with that for anything except for on Jellyfin. But that, I could, because I have videos that I record or at least try to before I, make, my videos and whatnot. I don't always do things in one take. Sometimes do it 3 or 4. This one is a one-take review. But, yeah, it would not auto-play, which sucked, but, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not too surprised. This thing's got a lot of issues. Anyways, there's no real amount of storage to this device, to the point where if you have an app that requires additional downloads, don't buy this device, because you can't fix that or anything. That being said, this connects to the internet pretty well if you've got a relatively low download speed plan. If you peak at 100 megs second download, that's your plan, you should be perfectly fine with this, because that's the highest I saw this thing get, for speeds on any of my plans, I say my plans, but on any of the apps or any of that. But that being said, this has poor gaming performance. I downloaded a couple of gaming apps, well, I say gaming apps, but a couple of game apps, Crossy Road, Asphalt, which goes back to that previous point. It requires, extra downloads. Can't use it because, yeah, no, this thing's got no storage. So, yeah. But then, again, very, very good video playback. I was using Crunchyroll, Pluto TV, and, what was the other thing? Sorry, give me a sec. My brain's a little slow tonight. It was Pluto TV. Oh yeah, Peacock, Pluto TV, Crunchyroll, and I think that was it. Wait, no, there's also Tubi TV. Sorry, a little tired. But yeah, it was bad, Chad. Thankfully, video playback's pretty decent, but it will randomly time out on you and randomly hit the screensaver unless you really mess around with settings. So, if that's what the experience is you want, get it. That being said, this thing has very, very good Bluetooth capabilities, Chad. It is genuinely fantastic, the Bluetooth capabilities. For example, when I was testing out games, I was using this here controller, which is still plugged in because it works if you put down your remote. Don't know where the heck you put it. But, yeah, let's see. On to the next point. Very responsive, which it is. It is a very, very responsive device, even more responsive than a Roku. And also, cool remote. I mean, you see this? Relatively bog standard, I'd assume. But it was still pretty cool. Very, very responsive, too, and snappy. I actually really like the remote, which makes it a damn shame that this device is a piece of shit. Also, the HDMI part of this device, thing you hook into the TV for video, that thing looks fragile as hell. Feels pretty fragile, too. And, yeah. Another gripe I had is that there should be a far better selection on the Chromecast store, because the selection is pretty shit for, streaming apps, as well as even, a couple of game apps. What it says is playable on the device in the Play Store is not what's actually playable on the Chromecast, which was fun to find out, but, is what it is. What can you do? And again, to say I am unimpressed with that selection is an understatement. That being said, there actually are some halfway decent apps on there. But that being said, there are halfway decent apps that should be on here that aren't, and then some apps that don't belong on here that are. It's almost as bad as the Samsung TV, the smart TV's web store thing. Almost as bad as that. Like, if you've seen one of those, you got like Al Jazeera and YouTube and Prime TV, but that's it. It's not quite that bad, but it ain't good either. Anyways, Steam Link may as well not even be compatible with this device because it doesn't work. And I'd go so far as to say it sucks on this device. Like, I was getting issues despite being literally spitting distance from the router. Right behind the TV here, you probably can't see it plugged in too well, but is the Chromecast, and then right there is the router. And I don't even get close to my full speed, and latency, oh boy, the latency. Like, it was bad. Like, it was so, like, just pixel garbage and whatnot, chat. I actually got nauseous, and I had to take a second. And you couldn't even control anything because of the aforementioned latency. And, screen sharing and everything. And where there's no, USB that you can hook into the device, ain't worth it. So, to say I am unimpressed with this device is an understatement, but for $29, paired with a Funko Pop that's got more love and care put into it than the Chromecast, you know what? I can't complain, really, all that much. Because realistically, if it was half and half, that means that it was about not quite $14.50, but pretty close to that, like, each. Together, assuming I'm doing the math right, like for half of that, not quite $14.50, that would be, actually not, $14.50 would be about right. Anyways, but it's still a disgrace at this price point. If you're just looking to use this for your standard streaming services, like, your Netflix, your YouTube, your Pluto TV, your Hulu, and your Prime Video, and your Crunchyroll, get it. Otherwise, don't, because Roku's much better, and there's probably actually better Android set-top boxes, even though pretty sure the Walmart ON devices would be better than this. It is that bad. Don't buy it. And, that is unless you want to buy it for an elderly person or a kid. Like, hey, couldn't get to the iPad, but check this out. It's a little Android TV. Yay! You know what I mean? So yeah, if I had to rate this device, chat, ignore the mess on the shelf. I'm working on that. If I had to give this device a rating, chat, I would give this, if I would have just got that Chromecast on its own, if it was just the Chromecast, I'd give this a 2 out of 10. But where it came with a very well-crafted Funko Pop, even though I'm not really one usually for collecting a Funko Pop, I just think it's kind of neat, I'd give this probably a 4 out of 10, below average. The Funko Pop was better than the thing, and the Funko Pop was an 11 with Eggo thing, which reminds me, I still haven't seen Stranger Things, have I? One of these days. Alright, thank you guys for watching. If you wish to see more, like, comment, and subscribe. Love you guys. Peace. Oh yeah, here's an announcement. Tomorrow, I'm going to start watching the Walking Dead TV series, and you're going to start seeing reviews for the Walking Dead TV show. Or at least, I say tomorrow, but I'm going to start watching, I'll take notes. The first notes, I'm going to be taking them on each episode, or did the first volume, for the comics. I'm going to be doing the first season of the TV show, just to show you how radically different it is. So, yeah. Thank you guys. Love you right to pieces.